What's going on, everybody? Get the Raging Rob here. So I was at a protest, well, not really a protest, a rally, whatever you want to call it. A congregation with Trump supporters and BLM Blue Lives Matter supporters today in Shelby Township, Michigan. Same spot, Van Dyke Avenue between, 23 and 24 Mile Road, which I live about an hour and 10 minutes away from there. I live in Shiawassee County, which is the next county over from Genesee, which is Flint. So I live in the country. So when I go to a protest or rally anywhere in Michigan or anywhere for that matter, I got to drive a ways. Lansing's a hop, skip, and a jump from where I live, probably like 30 minutes. Flint is like 20 minutes from where I live. I live right out in the middle of the freaking cornfield of Shiawassee County. Just look it up on a map. Shiawassee. Shiawassee. Shiawassee County. Out in the middle of the farmlands, the cornfields. That's where I live. I go to the city to go to these protests. Why? Because that's what I do. So, we got a new group. It's been around for a few months, I think. Group down here in Detroit. They call themselves Detroit Will Breathe. Well, I hope so. Because you're supposed to fucking breathe, right? You got lungs to make sure you breathe. And what is with these people that wear masks or shirts that says, I can't breathe? You can't breathe, yet you're protesting. If you can't breathe, you'd be passed out on the ground, and I would be pounding on your chest, trying to give you CPR. Because I care about your life, even though you don't care about life. So Detroit Will Breathe. I seen some protesters out there. Basically what happened today, we showed up to Shelby Township today, 5 p.m. Friday, on Van Dyke Avenue in front of the town hall in Shelby Township. You know, rallying for Trump, rallying for the police. And a group showed up. First there was like 6, then there was like a dozen, then there was like 18, then eventually it was like 30 of them. It was about 30, 35 strong. Large group. So they met behind where we were. We were right off Van Dyke Avenue. They were off a distance going towards the township hall. And they disappeared between the buildings. And I don't know where they went. So for a couple hours, they went whatever. And then someone pointed to me and said, hey, they're right down the street here, about a half mile, blocking the road. Because I did see flashing lights down there. I'm like, oh, shit. So I went down there. I got part of it on video, but it's on my Canon camera. I'll try to upload it to my channel later on tomorrow sometime. So I walked down there by myself. I thought the Proud Boys actually showed up too. The Proud Boys were there. 5 or 6 Proud Boys showed up. And I thought they were marching with me down to where they were. So basically what happened was I marched down there by myself to where they were. And then this unmarked police vehicle, I think he was a cop. He wouldn't say he was law enforcement. You know, I asked him, but he said, I'm not telling you. I'm like, all right, fine, you know, whatever. And he says to me, this group, because I guess he recognized me from the other protests that I showed up in Shelby Township. And he called me over to his vehicle. He's like, see this group over here? I'm like, yeah. This group is totally different than the ones you've been coming to these Wednesdays. This group is like a lot more nuttier. I'm like, that's what I do. And the cop tells me, well, you do what you want, but I'm just letting you know. I'm like, all right. And I did have my White Lives Matter t-shirt on at the time. So I took off my jacket to expose my White Lives Matter t-shirt. Ooh, they did not like that. They were across the street doing whatever. So they started marching up Van Dyke Avenue. And there was a couple vehicles on the road. I guess they're with them. 3 or 4 vehicles with their 4-ways on in the middle lane. In the middle turning lane were kind of driving along as they were marching on the sidewalk going towards our little Trump rally we had. So these 4 or 5, probably about 3 or 4 black girls. Now, I don't know if they're paid protesters or not. Not saying they were, because sometimes I go out of state to go to protests. And let me tell you, nobody's paying me to do it. Okay, I do this because I want to, because that's what I do. Because I care about my future. I care about the future of my country and my state. So I traveled myself to Minneapolis, Minnesota when the riots was going on. I traveled myself to Kenosha, Wisconsin a couple of weeks ago. Did some videos out there. I went to another protest down in Columbus, Ohio. I went to another BLM protest out in Des Moines, Iowa. So I travel around a little bit to these things. So anyway, there was like 3 or 4 of these girls. They were from North Carolina. I don't know if they're driving around the country getting paid to do this, or if they have relatives here. I don't know. But there was like 3 or 4 of them. They were from North Carolina. I seen them come in, to the town hall parking area when we were out there by Van Dyke Avenue. And then they're in their vehicle. So about 3 of them get out of the SUV, and they come up to me with the middle bird, and and they started calling me a bunch of white racial slurs. Oh, look at this pig. They act like they wanted to fight me. Detroit Will Breathe is the movement behind this. So here's a message to Detroit Will Breathe. Well, first off, you say blue lights doesn't exist. Okay. When the officer goes home at the end of the day, he takes his uniform off. That's exactly correct. But guess what? He took an oath to the Constitution. You know what that means? That when he goes home to take his uniform off at his house, condo, apartment, whatever, he's still an officer of the law. He's an officer of the law 24/7. So yes, blue lights exist. We have the blue line for officers of the law. And if you've seen some of these flags, they have the green line. The green line is for the veterans. Then we have the red line. The red line is for the fire department and the medics. So yes, blue lives matter, red lives matter, green lives matter, and I'll say it again, white lives matter, white lives matter. And yes, I believe all lives matter. And they say, well, for all lives to matter, black lives have to matter. Black lives have to matter in order for all lives to matter. So I'll say it, black lives matter. Yes, black lives matter. There, I said it. Black lives matter. White lives matter. All lives matter. So these girls see me with my White Lives Matter shirt and they were offended. Well, how are you offended when you're supporting Black Lives Matter? Black Lives Matter, don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with Black Lives Matter. I don't. Black lives do matter. All lives matter. Here's what I got a problem with. The BLM movement was started by a Marxist communist that wants to overthrow this country and inflict socialism. Paid for by the Democrats because they want to inflict on their socialism. They want to get us fighting. They want to get us fighting so so Bill Gates can come up with this stupid vaccine and try to enslave the population. So they want to get us fighting at the bottom. So what's the way to get us fighting at the bottom? This Marxist started this organization called BLM, also known as Black Lives Matter. Now, I don't have a problem with black lives. I don't have a problem with black people. I really don't. I'm not a racist. I'm not a white supremacist. A white supremacist is those that believes the white race is superior to other races. I'm not a white supremacist. I'm not a racist. But I'm not going to apologize for being white. I'm not going to apologize for White Lives Matter. I'm not going to apologize for being a Trump supporter. I'm not going to apologize for being a Christian, a follower of Jesus Christ. I'm not going to apologize for supporting the Second Amendment. And I'm not going to apologize for being a constitutionalist and standing up for what I believe in. The Constitution, First Amendment, they have every right to be out there in the street protesting against police brutality, protesting, Black Lives Matter. That's perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with that. What I got a problem with is the looting, destroying property, the fires, the rioting. One girl on camera said that we're going to get violent. I'm against the violence. You want to come out here with Black Lives Matter? That's perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with that. But when you come up to my fucking face and call me all kinds of white racial slurs because I'm wearing a White Lives Matter t-shirt, but it's, you see that as racist. But it's okay for you to wear Black Lives Matter. It's a double standard. Both lives matter. including this hot chick that just walked past me on the sidewalk with that fine ass. Look at that booty shake. Holy shit. I'm here in downtown Rochester taking care of some business right now. This white girl just walked down the sidewalk, man. She had a nice ass. So her life matters too. But anyway, Detroit will breathe. So you guys are gonna show up in Warren tomorrow at 4 p.m. Down there at Hoover Road and 696 in that area. Somewhere, I got the address. Guess who else is going to be there? Guess who else is going to be there wearing his White Lives Matter t-shirt? See you tomorrow in Warren. Detroit will breathe. Detroit will breathe. I'm just going to spell it out. You know what? The Detroit police chief is even sick of you people. The Detroit police chief, Craig, I can't think of his last name, Craig, whatever. Good man. Since he's became Detroit police chief, crime has been down in Detroit. Guess what he also supports? He supports the Second Amendment. The Detroit police chief supports armed citizens in Detroit to protect their homes. He supports the Second Amendment. Since he's been police chief, crime is down in Detroit. And guess what he is speaking against? This guy's a black man. Not that it matters what his race is, but I'm going to spell it out. The Detroit police chief, Craig, whatever his name, is a black man, and I support him. You know why? He's even against the Detroit Will Breathe movement. He's sick of these nerds. He is. He's tired of them. Detroit City is tired of your shit. Detroit will breathe. Detroit City is tired of your shit. And most of you nerds aren't even from Detroit. So here's my challenge to you fucking nerds. You want to protest Black Lives Matter or whatever? That's perfectly fine. I don't have a problem with that. But why don't you go inside the neighborhoods where they're drug dealing and do that shit? Why don't you stand outside Planned Parenthood? Planned Parenthood is responsible for 400,000 black people dying last year. Where's your cry for that? Where's your cry for the 8-year-old girl in Atlanta who was killed by a BLM member? 8-year-old black girl in Atlanta. Where's your cry for all the black lives that are lost in gun violence in Chicago? Here's my challenge, Detroit will breathe. Instead of going to the suburbs, you go up to Shelby Township, where it's safe. You go to certain parts of Warren, where it's safe. Go to the neighborhoods in Detroit. The neighborhoods. Finkel Road, Joy Road, Mount Elliott, 6 Mile, 7 Mile, McNichols. Yeah, I know the streets. Why? Because I do independent contract work all over the state of Michigan. And yes, I've been in those neighborhoods doing work. Not gonna say what I do. I'm an independent contractor. I travel the state doing work. Side jobs here and there. I've done work in the ghetto. I go down to the neighborhoods and do work sometimes. I know about Joy Road, McNichols. I know about the east side, west side. I know about... I've been in these neighborhoods. Daytime, 2 o'clock in the morning. Yeah. I'm not bullshitting you. Go inside the neighborhoods and block the streets and protest. Disrupt the drug dealers. Let's see if you can go from point A to point D, point A to point B, without getting your ass whipped. Detroit will breathe. What a bunch of fucking nerds. I'm out. See you tomorrow on Warren.